مناقشة التحديات الاستراتيجية والتنفيذية التي تواجهها مراكز الأبحاث في استقطاب المواهب والاحتفاظ بها.
Globalization implies and requires that people and their ideas circulate freely. This makes it both important and difficult for countries and organizations to retain talent.
2021 Think Tank Talent for the Future Forum. We are looking forward in terms of what are the challenges that think tanks face.
Challenge number one, in Japan, including ours, most think tanks have relatively small number of staff members, including researchers.
If we have to retain and attract talent, we have to imbibe new skills. We have to learn to work in a very different world, and we have to relate to people at a very different level.
Since we're talking about recruiting and retaining younger people, partly, this is part of our conversation.
Our strategy for recruitment, Jim, is screening and filtering, keeping out the ones that we don't want and picking out the ones that really have promise.
Utilizing partnerships, I think, will go a long way in the continuity of think tanks globally.
When we think about think tanks, and when it comes to the issue of talent, it's the application, it's the result, it's the final outcome that matters the most, and it's the one thing.
Challenge that all think tanks face, getting the funding, and the funders want those big names, they want to be associated with the network, but at the same time we're trying to talk about developing talent, about bringing the next generation of researchers.
Question about how to retain, how to manage, how to grow talent for the future of think tanks is one that every think tank around the world is grappling with.
I'd like to thank Trends Research and Advisory, and of course Jim again from the Think Tanks and Civil Society program.
A range of potential sort of solutions and way forward to grow and evolve in the world of policymaking, in the marketplace of ideas and information.
The right balance for fresh graduates and young scholars that are just starting their journey, to know that they're giving the space to learn about how to perform their job well, but also how to find themselves.
What makes us stand out as think tanks, not only in Serbia but globally, is that we all have openly stating our vision and mission.
Think tanks always have the necessary preconditions to recruit the brightest talents, but they really have to make use of the advantages they can offer.
The most respected and best analyst in JSS in my think tank is over 80, and he is great because some issues require also some gravitas.
There are untapped pools of talent all over the world, and we all want it. We're all competing for it. The organization that can go out and find it has a comparative advantage.
Throughout my career, I've often been the only person of Arab origin and the only woman in the room. And it's mattered.
It is very hard not to get wrapped up in the conversation of race. I think it never needs to be overlooked.
Create a culture or environment where all employees feel the need to contribute is very important. I believe age is just a number.
Because of the climate that we're currently living in, we tend to want to talk about race and put that at the top of the list.
Diversity of opinion and diversity of representatives is essential for us to make ourselves continue to be relevant.
My job is to provide the best research or best advice or best pieces of information.
How we use HR to get to the places that we need to be. You talk about being people-centric, so why don't you tell everybody what that means to you and how you incorporate it at AEI.
The discussions that have happened today and the focus on professionalizing what we do in terms of talent, recruitment, talent engagement.
People-centric to me means focus on the people
And throughout my career, and especially in the think tank world where we're mission focused, we're enveloping people who are aligned with our culture.
Change is affecting very deeply the way we provide policymakers
allow to present to the Prime Minister or the Cabinet any decisions that's not data-driven.
Before COVID, our organization would not have been flexible enough to make any of these changes.
All organizations realize the importance of digital and the importance of technology. But I think what is more important is really being digitally fit.
On building the trust, we all know that more often than not, we find policymakers, they have the studies, they find everything around, and yet they make their own decisions.
This would help to make more sustainable access to financial resources through non-traditional channels.
We have to make sure that when we're disseminating our research, we're doing it in a way that shows what the meaning is.